From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, February 4th. As the state digs out of snow, we're now bracing for frigid air moving in. It felt like -10 in some places across central Indiana with real temperatures between 10, 17 degrees. It's going to feel even colder when you wake up tomorrow with real temperatures at around 0 in the Indianapolis area. And state police are giving people credit for some smart decisions as troopers tally up the crash totals from the worst of the winter weather we've gotten. Troopers say they went out on more than 250 calls in and around Indianapolis yesterday. 51 were crashes, including 2 with injuries. 57 were slide-offs, and 151 cars or trucks were stuck or disabled in other ways. Sergeant John Perrine with ISB, he joined me this morning on Daybreak, and he said this morning was even worse than yesterday.
And I think there's a combination of reasons for that. More traffic today, certainly. Yesterday looked like a Sunday morning, but today's closer to a regular day. The other thing is we're seeing some clear spots and some really deep snow, and the combination of those, people are getting up to highway speeds on these clear spots, and then they're hitting these snow areas, or there's still snow in between the lanes, so when they're trying to change the lane, they're losing control. Unfortunately, what we see when we see higher speeds is the crashes result in injuries more often. So we just ask people to take it slow. Even though the road looks clear, you got to still drive slow.
We've had our fair share of issues this morning. We've watched them unfold through traffic cameras. We've had a jackknife semi and several other issues, and several of them in your district here in the Donut Counties. We've got one near Fishers on I-69. I know I-65 has one in Lebanon. We actually have a great look at that right now as far as what's happening. Backed up traffic. What are you encouraging people to do this morning?
Well, stay home if you can. Again, this isn't it's not the time to go out if you don't have to. But we understand there are people that have to get out. They have to get to work. They have places they have to be. Leave early. Give yourself plenty of time. Don't get that false sense of security when you're driving on a road that maybe you can see the pavement, because in just a matter of moments, you could be changing and driving on snow or ice. Right now, I'm on my way. As soon as I hang up with you guys, I'm heading up to I-69 in the Fishers area. We have a lot of cars that are just stuck on ramps. They've been driving on the interstate. The snow gets deep on the ramps. They can't make it up the ramp. They're just simply stuck. So we're trying to get some of those cleared out as well. So just be prepared for things like that.
Are you seeing ice being an issue this morning?
I haven't personally seen the ice, but certainly with the temperatures and the moisture, it's got to be there somewhere.
Also, finally, as far as the influx of calls, you're saying it's even worse today than it has been. How is the Indiana State Police dealing with all of that?
Well, we're prepared. We've called everybody in that's available, and it's all hands on deck. We have a lot of troopers working in the Indianapolis area today, and we're certainly thankful for that. We're also thankful for all our other emergency service partners that are out offering a helping hand, not just to us, but to the community and the public as well.
And of this morning, every county in the state is under some kind of travel alert. Homeland Security's map shows almost half are in red, the red warning level, meaning authorities want only emergency workers on the roads. Nearly all others are at the orange watch level, restricting the streets to essential travel, going to and from work, for example. Marion County is one of 3 still yellow, the lowest advisory level. Frankfort police say they arrested a man who violated Clinton County's advisory yesterday. Corey Bybee is now in custody on drug charges. And as far as Indianapolis streets, the city brought on contracted workers to help city crews get to neighborhood streets. The city says it could take a minute to get to yours, though. Ben Easley also joined me on Daybreak this morning. Here's what he had to say.
The snow accumulation wrapped up overnight, so that's what we're really excited about. Our crews will continue on those major thoroughfares and secondary streets, and then the exciting thing today is that we're able to engage contractors, which will go into those residential streets. So folks might start waking up to see a contracted plow going by in front of their house.
Okay, so let's go more in depth there. When people wake up in those neighborhoods that are maybe some of the most difficult to get to, when could they expect those contractors to hit their streets?
Right. So the thing about residential streets is that they are much tighter. So first of all, we do hope that people have the opportunity, if they're out and come back from their commutes or whatever they're doing today, to park closer to the curb so that those contracted plows going down those tighter streets are able to make a wider pass. Like I said, we are starting to engage contractors this morning. Many of them are already on the roads. Some will be on the roads later this morning or into this afternoon. And they'll be working all through Friday to make a single pass along every residential street that the city of Indianapolis maintains today.
And do you ever recommend people, if they can, not park on the street? We have seen, as the plows come through in general, just kind of some of the cars being banked in by the snow.
Absolutely. Yeah. If folks do have off-street parking options, we definitely encourage those. We don't want to make that blanket statement just because not everybody has that option. But we definitely encourage people to hug the curb if they can or park off the street because our contractors are coming through those residential streets. Is
there a worry about ice this morning with temperatures being so cold?
Certainly, that was something we were looking ahead to, those dropping temperatures, not wanting to allow things to freeze in place. But we have been able to do some really good work overnight after the snow ended this past evening. And then our contractors are going out as soon as they can this morning. So we're hoping to get it off the roadways as quickly as possible.
And as you map your day out with the city crews and the contracted crews, do you have a time frame of when you hope all of the streets have been hit?
I think that we will probably be playing cleanup even into the weekend, but it is where we've gotten some good forward momentum on those thoroughfares and secondary streets at this point. So hopefully those are passable, drivable at this point. We're also getting to things like the Monon now. That's mostly clear. So we are making that progress.
Okay, and I know that just in the recent few years, there has been a new threshold when you do call out those contractors. Have you been seeing that is working for the city?
The new way that we do things allows us to activate contractors even before we would have hit 6 inches. Obviously, in this situation, we're above that threshold, but we are able to look ahead to things like those cold temperatures. And if it makes sense, we'll call out the contractors even before that 6 inch mark. So with this instance in particular, we had the contractors on the phone before we were even approaching what would have been the threshold previously.
And you can track where the Indy plows are and where they're going with the DPW's online snow map. We've made it easy for you to find that. Go to wishtv.com and look in the As Seen on Wish TV section. There we have a link to the map. And we are still seeing flight cancellations this morning, but not nearly as many as yesterday. That number has climbed to 45 flights in and out of Indianapolis for your Friday. Yesterday's total was 171. And of course, IMPD is out and about as well and have also had their fair share of accidents to respond to. Officer Simone Burris joined my colleague Scott Sander on Daybreak this morning to talk about what Metro Police are responding to right now.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me this morning. As of 7 o'clock this morning, our officers have seen 52 property damage accidents, 3 personal injury accidents. They've seen 35 slide-offs. They have assisted with 54 disabled vehicles and 16 traffic hazards this morning.
And those are cumulative through the whole storm, or that's just this morning's last few hours?
That's a cumulative.
Okay.
So over that period of time, correct.
Similar in some ways to the numbers that state troopers have reported to us as well. They handle sort of interstates, state roads, things of that nature. They can cross over to the city streets as well, but between the local and the state police, those numbers to the troopers were actually pretty good. They feel like people heeded the warnings, and for the roads that they have to deal with, they thought that people made really smart decisions. Would you say the same thing for city streets?
Absolutely. Our message is still, if residents could avoid driving at all today, we still encourage that. As you stated, there are still some roads that need to be serviced. So the public will assist us greatly to continue to heed those warnings. That has been very helpful.
How are the officers doing out there in terms of what they prepared for and what they're actually facing when they go out?
Very cold weather, right? Very cold conditions. They too are dealing with the road conditions and trying to be as safe as possible. So the more we can get the public to assist us with limiting travel today continues to assist our officers greatly. They are out there continuing to answer calls for service, and we appreciate their hard work.
And the winter storm forced Indiana to close more COVID testing and vaccination clinics today. The state health department says if you had appointments at a state-run site, you should have received instructions to reschedule. All clinics operated by the Marion County Public Health Department will also be closed today. COVID deaths in Indiana appear to be leveling off ahead of the country as a whole. Data from the state and the CDC show that we are edging downward from our peak numbers of about 3 weeks ago. The national numbers are not yet reflecting a similar improvement. The CDC reports deaths are up 6% from a week ago. The agency predicts more than 65,000 could die from COVID over the next month. Case numbers are down for both the country and the state, and some health experts are offering an optimistic outlook.
I think we right now have about 90% population immunity from immunization or natural infection or both. We're heading into the warmer months. I do think things will come down.
The White House says hospitalizations are a key metric in looking at to remove restrictions like mask mandates. Both the CDC and state health department report hospitalizations are down. And the Olympic Games have officially begun. Opening ceremonies were held this morning in Beijing. The White House was shining red, white, and blue to support Team USA. Competition started before the ceremony, and America's figure skaters are doing well. In team figure skating, Nathan Chin had the second highest Olympic score ever in the men's single short program. He's a 3-time world champion. America leads Japan and Russia in the team skating. Indiana connections to the games include James Reed in bobsled. He's from Bloomington. Freestyle skier Nick Gepper was born in Fort Wayne and raised in Lawrenceburg. He's won Olympic silver and bronze in past games and is looking for gold in Beijing. Finally, IHSAA's girls basketball sectionals are just around the corner. Westfield is preparing for what many are calling the toughest matchup in the state. This morning, our Olivia Ray is sharing the story of a superfan who is inspiring his family and basketball fans all over.
We are the Crockett family. I'm Bill.
Hi, I'm Kristen. Aubrey.
Cameron.
Alyssa. And this is Kayla. Say hello. Say hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Like a true Central Indiana family, the Crockett's eat, sleep, and breathe basketball. So it's no surprise that their firstborn is ranked among the nation's top 50 seniors by ESPN. And honestly, it's hard to outshine Alyssa when she takes the court. But her little brother Caleb gives her a run for her money, and by simply being his sister's biggest fan.
Yeah.
He's always the first one once I come out of the locker room. He's always there, cheering me on, giving me a hug right away. You know, he keeps everyone going, you know. Everyone comes out from a game, and you're not always the happiest. So just seeing him really lights you up.
13-year-old Caleb is the oldest Crockett boy. He has Down syndrome and is largely nonverbal, but he makes his voice heard when it comes to hoops and his favorite player.
Caleb is a super fan. He cheers for anybody, doesn't matter who it is. Home team, away team. He loves being around people.
You know, he's like, you know, our little team mascot in a way. He's always just making other people happy, no matter the circumstances. Always cheering, always doing whatever it takes. And, you know, looking at him in stands motivates me to do better and keep rolling.
Caleb has brought that spark day in and day out, only missing about 3 of Alyssa's high school games, which in turn kept his sister's next stop in her career pretty close to home.
Being the oldest sibling, it's definitely hard to go away from that. So I knew I didn't want to go somewhere too far. So 4 hours was definitely my max, and Michigan's just around that, you know, which is a little hard to think about sometimes. But it was like a family, and they all accepted him very, very well.
Been up there a couple times, and Caleb has already acclimated himself into that family as well. You know, he gives them hugs just like he gives us hugs here in Central Indiana.
And those Caleb Crockett hugs bring a little luck and a lot of motivation to everyone that he embraces. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.